Good evening and welcome to the national news broadcast on Channel Live. We're going to bring you the top stories from home and around the world. I'm Natalia Veeravardhana.
A very good evening to you. I'm Dishan Veerakon and here are your headlines for tonight. The President assures to bring an end to the inefficient public service during his tenure. Rumi Mohammed remanded until January the 6th. A relief package for low-income earning families from January. 4 personnel of the Sri Lanka Air Force have been killed from a road accident. Construction of the stalled canals in Colombo has been expedited. Preparations have been made for the dawning of the new year.
And now on the top story, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa emphasizes that he will bring an end to the inefficient public service during his tenure. The President pointed out that the state sector institutions should be efficient and transparent for the public benefit. The President made these remarks during a meeting held with the senior officials of the Ministry of Passenger Transportation. The meeting was held at the Presidential Secretariat. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that officials in the RMV, Customs and Registration of Persons departments engage in such fraudulent and corrupt activities due to their need for a better life than their existing living standards. He said that based on the existing facts, that state sector earnings should be improved in order to improve the salaries of the state sector employees. He said that facilities of the revenue-making state sector institutions should be increased in order to improve the state revenue. He said that the state sector employees should provide these facilities. He said that it depends on the efficiency and honesty of the state sector employee. He said that foundations of all state sector fields can be collapsed if they fail to adhere to these qualities. He said that the state sector employees should support the government to increase the revenue. The President emphasized that stern punishments should be given to corrupt officials in the public sector without considering their positions. The President requested the authorities to catch the offenders involved in such corrupt activities within the state sector as well as the outside. He said that investigations have undertaken against the outside offenders. He said that such offenders will not be entertained by keeping them in the state sector. He requested the authorities create awareness on this regard. He said that public often has reservations against each government owing to such issues. He added that the present situation should be prevented and the government should take initiatives now to bring an end to this situation. The President said that the public's trust on the public sector should be ensured. He said that the authorities should take initiative without hiding such issues in fear of strikes. He said that he has instructed the ministers to mitigate these issues within a short time. The President said that he will drop his attention on these issues after resolving them. Ministers Mahinda Amaravira and Dilu Mamunugama, President Secretary P.B. Jayasundara and Defence Secretary Kamal Gunaratne were present on this occasion.
Now, 6 persons who were soliciting bribes from the public in the proximity of the Verahar office of the Department of Motor Traffic have been remanded until January the 13th today. Now, the suspects were remanded in accordance to an order issued by the Gangudavilla Magistrates Court. It was revealed that the suspects have solicited an amount of 10,000 rupees from a person to provide the driver's license in a short time. The police said that information over many other suspects involved in this offensive act has been revealed. Investigations on this regard have also been commenced. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa engaged in an emergency inspection tour in the Verahara office of the Department of Motor Traffic recently. According to the instructions given by the President during the inspection visit, special investigation teams have been deployed in the relevant premises to mitigate irregularities. Now, as a result, 6 suspects were taken into custody while soliciting for bribes.
Former chairman of State Pharmaceutical Corporation Rumi Mohammed, who was arrested by the CID for allegedly making payments for the suspects, appeared in the White Van media briefing, has been remanded until the 6th of January. The suspect was remanded in accordance to an order issued by the Colombo Magistrates Court. The officers of the CID recorded a statement from former chairman of State Pharmaceutical Corporation Rumi Mohammed after he was taken into custody today. He was then produced before the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court. State's Deputy Solicitor General informed the courts yesterday that Rumi Mohammed, who alleged to have made payments to the suspects, appeared in the White Van media briefing, has been disappeared. The wife of the suspect has informed that she is unaware of the suspect's whereabouts when the police reached his residence for an investigation. Therefore, the state's Deputy Solicitor General has requested the court to issue orders for the arrest of the suspect and a ban on his foreign travels. Accordingly, the magistrate ordered the Controller General of Immigration and Immigration to take necessary steps to ban the overseas travels of the suspect. The CID has taken the suspect into custody after he surrendered this morning. He functioned as the chairman of State Pharmaceutical Corporation during the previous government. Preliminary investigations have revealed that he has made payments to the suspects who were taken into custody for making false statements that the alleged abductions carried out in white vans in a media briefing held in the presidential election period. Information on how the media briefing was organized has been revealed through the confidential statements acquired from the relevant suspects after their arrest. And they have made statements over the mediation of the former Minister Rajitha Senaratne, and information has also been revealed on the location where the relevant deal was reached. Meanwhile, reports have indicated that parliamentarian Rajitha Senaratne is still receiving treatments in a private hospital in Narahempita. Colombo Chief Magistrate Lankaja Ratna released him on bail yesterday after he was remanded. And 4 people have been killed from a road accident occurred today in Colombo Kandy Main Road in Dummaladeniya Varakapala area. The accident occurred around 4 a.m. A container and a 3-wheeler had collided and 4 Sri Lanka Air Force personnel in the 3-wheeler had died from the accident. They have been identified as P. Saman Kumara of Kahatakastigiliya, Ruwan Disanayaka of Galigamuwa, S.G. Sampath Priyantha of Kosgamuwa and Shaminda Sampath of Ampara. Meanwhile, 10 people have been injured after a private bus had wheeled off the road in Rukulagama area while travelling from Mavanella to Hemattagama. The injured have been admitted to Mavanella Base Hospital.
Now, Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that the responsibility of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation is to be a part of a high-quality media culture in the country. He made these remarks while speaking with the staff of the national television during a sudden visit to the SLRC. The minister was cordially welcomed by the staff of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. A meeting was held with Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Dr. Nihal Jayathilaka, Director General Ajit Naragala, and the management of the national television over the future proceedings of the SLRC. He also engaged in a cordial conversation with the staff. Minister Bandula Gunawardena requested the national television to be a part of a high-quality, ethical and unbiased media culture in the country. He said that the country should be the working nation in the year 2020. He then wished the best for the newly appointed director board of the corporation and the staff and requested to be pioneered in creating a political, social and economic transformation in a country for a better future under the president.
වැඩියෙන් වැඩ කිරීම තුලින් පමණයි රටකට සෞභාග්‍ය ලබා කරගත හැකි. ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ යුගයේ තුලදී මේ මහා දැවැන්ත සමාජ ආර්ථික දේශපාලන පරිවර්තනය සඳහා පෙරගමන් කරුවෙක් ලෙස ක්‍රියා කරන්නට ජාතික රූපවාහිනියටත් අලුතෙන් පත් වූ සභාපතිතුමා ඇතුළු අධ්‍යක්ෂක මණ්ඩලයටත් ඔබ සියලු දෙනාට ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය වාසනාව ලැබේවා සුබ නව වසරක් වේවා.
Minister Bandula Gunawardena also engaged in an inspection visit to the government printing department today. He also engaged in a cordial discussion with the department staff.
Minister Lakshman Yapabewardena says that low-income earning families will receive a relief package from the government in the beginning of January. He made these remarks on a media briefing today. Minister Lakshman Yapabewardena said that the domestic vegetation due to the inclement weather condition prevailed in the recent past. He said that it cannot be controlled by the government. He said that their responsibility is to provide the results of the initiatives undertaken by the government for the benefit of the public in the New Year season. He said that one of the initiatives is to provide a relief package worth 3,600 rupees for the low-income earning persons and some of the beneficiaries.
Now let's take a look at the Flashback 2019 feature, which includes most significant events in the year 2019. Tripitaka was declared a World Heritage at Aluvihara Temple in Matale. Notorious gangster and drug trafficker Mark Andre Madhush and 25 others were arrested in Dubai. A meeting took place between US President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The demise of renowned singer Angeline Gunathilaka. Ravana 1 satellite commenced its flight to the International Space Station. A terrorist attack on 3 churches and several hotels in Colombo. Naruhito became the new emperor of Japan. General Secretary of the Budubala Sena, Venerable Galgodatte Yanasara Thera, was released from prison. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was re-elected for a second term. Sakwati Ranasinghe was released on bail after 10 years. Ravana 1 was orbited. The resignation of Britain's Prime Minister Theresa May and Boris Johnson was appointed as the new Prime Minister. Lasith Malinga bid farewell to his one-day international career. Official declaration of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa as the new leader of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa as the President nominee of the party. The demise of former Chairman of the Sri Lanka Medical Council Dr. Carlo Fonseca. The tallest tower in South Asia, the Nelum Kulna in Colombo, was declared open. Under-16 South Asian Netball Championship held in India was claimed by Sri Lanka. IS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was killed in Syria from a USA attack. The rainwater stream of the Moragakanda Kaluganga Reservoir was released. The presidential election was held to elect the 7th executive president of the country. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa achieved a significant win at the presidential election. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa sworn in as the 7th executive president of the country. The demise of former Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa was sworn in as the Prime Minister of the new government. Sri Lanka's Caroline Jury won the Mrs. World 2020 crown. Prime Minister Boris Johnson secured a significant win in the Britain's general election.
Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation has organized a musical festival in celebration of the dawn of the new year. Flashback Dancing Night concert is taking place at the Golf Face Green grounds. And now let's join the live telecast of the concert.
Meanwhile, inspired by a Swedish schoolgirl, millions took to the streets in 2019 as the world suffered extreme weather and major powers continue to block the radical action scientists say is needed to steer the planet away from a climate cliff edge.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you!
2019 was the year the climate crisis found its voice, and not just that of a 16-year-old Swedish schoolgirl, but also in the millions of what Greta Thunberg calls angry kids who took to the streets.
Please help us. Please don't screw up our future.
That voice has been met with resistance from some of the world's major greenhouse gas emitters. US President Donald Trump said Thunberg has an anger management problem. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro called her a brat. In November, Trump officially started the process of withdrawing the US from the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, saying he needed to protect the US energy market.
And I'm not going to lose that wealth. I'm not going to lose it on dreams, on windmills.
Bolsonaro has dismissed international pressure as the Amazon rainforest, seen as vital to fighting climate change, burned.
It's a fallacy to say that the Amazon is part of World Heritage, and wrong to say, as scientists affirm, that our rainforests are the lungs of the world.
Indigenous communities say his policy of opening up the Amazon for development has fueled deliberate fires. More than 3,000 square miles were destroyed in the first 9 months of the year, 10 times the area of New York City. From Typhoon Hagibis in Japan and the Philippines to record temperatures in Europe, bushfires in Australia to Hurricane Dorian, the worst natural disaster in the history of the Bahamas, extreme weather touched every corner of the planet in 2019. In developing nations, it was often a death sentence. More than 1,000 killed when Cyclone Idai tore through Mozambique, Zimbabwe and Malawi in March. More than 1,600 in India's heaviest monsoon season for 25 years. In the face of this suffering, campaigners hoped that a UN summit at the end of the year would see global powers spurred into action. Instead, governments have been accused of sleeping at the wheel, as the Madrid event closed with only a weak commitment to the Paris Agreement. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called it a missed opportunity.
This COP has failed the people.
You are failing us.
Stop taking up space with your false solutions and get out of our way.
The lack of a strong outcome has ratcheted up pressure for the next big climate summit in the UK next November, when parties to the Paris Agreement are expected to boost their commitments to curb greenhouse gas emissions. But with a lacklustre international response at the end of a tumultuous year, progress may well hinge on whether the voice found in 2019 will be heard in 2020.
Meanwhile, the construction of many canals in Colombo and suburban areas, which have been still for close to 3 years, have been expedited. The work has been initiated in accordance to the instructions of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The constructions of many canals in Colombo and suburban areas have been initiated by the Land Development Corporation under the Veerasganga Storm Water Drainage and Environment Improvement Project. The constructions of the canals were still in many suburban areas in the recent past. According to the government, the risk of flooding in Nugegoda, Gamsabha Junction, Delkanda, Rattanapitiya, Papiliyana, Boralasgamuwa and other areas will be prevented through the completion of the project. The Land Development Corporation said that the project will be completed within 6 months. Right after this break, we'll be bringing you foreign news.
Welcome back. Now in foreign news. The new decade is set to witness a major celebration in various parts of the world. Now let's take a look at how the world is preparing to usher in the new year 2020. Auckland, New Zealand was one of the first locations in the world to ring in the new year and new decade as it did so with a fireworks display from its iconic Sky Tower and harbour. Australia welcomed 2020 with a huge fireworks display in Sydney.
Thousands of protesters laid siege to the U.S. embassy in Baghdad, furious over American airstrikes that targeted an Iranian-backed Iraqi militia unit. The Iraqi government has condemned the airstrikes, and the incident risks drawing the country further into proxy conflict between Tehran and Washington.
The U.S. embassy in Iraq was under siege by thousands of protesters, many violent, embassy staff evacuated. Demonstrators furious over the American airstrikes over the weekend that targeted members of an Iraqi militia unit. The militia is supported by Iran, but is part of Iraq's armed forces. The Prime Minister says the killing of at least 25 of its members was a serious breach of the country's sovereignty. It is also calling for calm. American troops are still inside. Iraqi special forces units trained by the Americans have also been deployed to secure the building. Reports of stun grenades used to keep people at bay. The militia hit in the strikes is called Kataib Hezbollah, or Battalions of the Party of God. It has links to both Iran's military and Lebanon's own Hezbollah. Washington considers it a terrorist organization, and it's long harassed U.S. forces. Most recently, the U.S. blames the group for a rocket attack at an Iraqi military base that killed an American contractor. The airstrikes were retaliation. However, Kataib Hezbollah is part of a larger coalition of militias that, although they have a separate command structure, officially answer to the Iraqi government and often work jointly with its regular security forces. These Iranian-backed militias also pull major political clout in Iraq. Opposition to their influence is one of the reasons why Iraq has been swept by anti-government protests in which hundreds have died. But it's those same militias that organized this new protest at the embassy, although members say they didn't intend for violence. U.S. President Donald Trump says that Tehran itself orchestrated both the protest and killing of the American contractor. Tehran says there's no evidence the militia was involved in the attack.
And on cricket, Interclub One-Day Cricket Championship was secured by Chilau Marians today by defeating NCC by 91 runs. The match was played at Colombo SSC grounds. Batting first, Chilau Marians scored 295 runs for the loss of 8 wickets for their innings. Sumit Gadigankar scored 79 runs and Kamindu Mendes was 47 and Ramesh Buddhika scored 60 runs. Chasing a target of 296 runs, NCC only managed to accumulate 204 runs in their innings. Lahiru Udana scored 50 runs while Pathum Nissanka scored 38 runs. Shehan Jayasuriya and Kamindu Mendes picked up 3 wickets each, and man of the match was Kamindu Mendes. A voting took place to decide the best world cricketer of the 2010-2020 decade by Cricinfo. 16 players have been named for the voting list, which includes 2 Sri Lankan players. Rangana Herath and Lasith Malinga are the players included in the list. Indian cricketers Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Ravichandran Ashwin and Mahendra Singh Dhoni are also included in the list. Nugegoda Lyceum International School has managed to secure the under-11 Island Inter-School Doubles Women's Badminton category. The Martha Rahula won the men's division.
And that is a wrap of tonight's primetime news, and on behalf of National Television, we would like to wish you all a very happy new year.
Indeed.
Good night.
And a good night.